Hi, today we're mounting the Contour ROAM2 on an iPole. Now the iPole is, if you're not familiar with it, it's a revolutionary little product. It's very inexpensive. It's only $25 from a company called FastCap. And for a few extra dollars, they actually have an adapter that you can mount a phone on it, or anything that is small. This, of course, is currently the Contour ROAM2, which already has a camera mount on it, so I didn't need the adapter for that. But the iPole itself, it looks like a telescoping antenna, for those of you who remember what antennas used to look like. It compresses down to only 9 inches. But when it's fully extended, the iPole Mini is 43 inches, which means at this moment the camera is exactly 43 inches from me. And the other great thing about it is, as I'm moving around, and I'm hiking right now in Staten Island, the camera is always at 43 inches. Now what does that mean? As far as action photography goes, that means that the subject is always at the same distance. That means the subject's going to remain in focus and it's going to look sharp. It also eliminates a lot of the shake. Think of it like sitting on a train. You and the train are moving at 100 miles per hour. And you're looking across at someone sitting on the other side of the train. They're going to look like they're not moving. That's kind of the effect you're seeing here. What you're seeing behind me is the equivalent of the windows behind me moving as I move. But the subject, that's me, is still entirely rock solid, which means that you don't get that crazy, well, somewhat nauseating effect you would get if you were trying to shoot action photography where the camera would face the other way. So right now the camera is obviously facing me. I'm keeping it eye level, so even with this 170 degree range of focus, it's a fisheye lens, pretty much everything around me is in the shot, except for the pole. Now I have the pole in the second notch, for those of you who are curious. There are little notches as you move the pivot head, and I'm using that setting. Now as a fisheye lens, that means things around me may warp, but then they'll straighten out as I go through. But the advantage here of the 170 degree fisheye lens is that you get the vastness of whatever's around me completely in the shot. As you approach objects, like here, I'm going to approach a tree that's relatively straight. It's going to be round, and then as I get closer to it, and as it becomes closer to the center, it straightens itself out. But the great thing is, look at all this landscape around me that's in the shot. So this is the best thing you can ask for doing outdoor photography. Now, indoor photography, I have to admit, the Contour does not handle low light well, but that defeats the purpose. The Contour is for sports. This camera is completely submersible. You could take it with you into the water. In fact, you can take it with you under the water, and it will still shoot beautiful shots. It shoots at 1080 with 125 degree range of focus, or at 720 at 60 frames per second with 170 degree range of focus. So if you've been thinking about how well this pairs together, the iPole, the Contour, this is how it works out. So hopefully this has been a little informative, and maybe for some, it's a nice little glance at what Staten Island looks like. This is the White Trail in Willowbrook.